Hello everyone, I welcome you all to this new video on Python tutorials. In this video, we will be discussing about what is escape sequence. Escape sequence is used to print some special characters inside the strings. For example, when we are printing out some strings, if we need to include some quotes or backslash or new line or a tab space, we can use this escape sequences. So what actually happens here is that escape sequence will ignore the actual meaning as interpreted by Python. So let's see all these things in action. So here I am trying to print a string that is welcome to Python programming tutorials, but there is some difference here. I need this Python to be printed inside the double quotes. So it should come as welcome to inside double quotes Python and then programming tutorial. Let's see what happens when I run this cell. So Python throws an error when I run this cell. So what happened here? Python will interpret these double quotes as a closing double quotes for this first double quote. So whatever is inside this, it will be considered as a string in Python. And next, this will be the starting of a new string, this double quotes, and the double quotes at the end here will be considered as a closing double quotes for this double quotes. So here the Python will interpret welcome to us as an one string and this programming tutorial as another string. So Python have no idea about what is this Python written here. So it will throws an error. So what we need to print welcome to Python programming language so that the word Python will be enclosed in a double quotes. So for that we can use the escape sequences. So using escape sequences we can eliminate the meaning, the actual meaning interpreted by the Python. So using the escape sequences, we can as a closing quotes of this first double quote. So for that we need to put a backward slash in front of the double quotes. So we put a backslash in front of both of these double quotes. So the Python will never consider these two quotes as a closing quotes or an opening close. So it will exactly print Python, the word Python inside a double quotes. So let us print this cell. So if you observe here, the word Python is being enclosed inside double quotes. So there is one more method also. For that, what we need to do is that we should enclose the whole string into double quotes, and to print Python in a single quote, if we use Python enclosed in a single quote, Python will not throw any error. So let us see what happens. So the Python is now enclosed in a single quote, but it never throws an error. So this single quote is never considered as a closing quotes for this first double quote. So in other way also we can do that. We can use in the outer part we can use a single quote, and in the inner part we can use double quotes. So let us run this cell also. So if you observe here, this Python is enclosed in a double quote. So here we don't need to use any escape sequence. If we need to print the string Helen's birthday, if I try to print this statement, definitely Python will throw an error. So what happens here is that this single quote will be taken as a closing quote for this first quote. Okay, so this single quote will be considered as a closing quotes for this first single quote. So Python will throw an error. So to escape this meaning of this quotes, we will put a backslash. So now Python will never consider it as a closing quote. So it will print Helen's birthday. So you can see that Python is not throwing any error. Let's see how to print a new line in between the string. For example, I need to print welcome to on the first line and stack up on the second line. So what we need to do is that we will put a slash n between these two and stack up. So if we print it, so you can see that welcome to is print on. So let me eliminate this space and run it again. So we can see that this welcome to is print on the first line and this stack up is print on the second line. So what happens here is that this slash n will be treated as a new line by Python. Okay, so next let's see how to implement a tab in between a string. So if I run the cell, the slash t will be interpreted as a space. So between this two and stack, a space, extra space will be put up by the Python. So if I run the cell, so you can see that some space has occurred between two and stack. So this slash t represents a space, a tab space, as interpreted by the Python. Next is row string. So using a row string, if we don't want to use so many escape sequences, we can use a row string. So let's see what actually it is. So what if I need to print c colon hash slash document slash tweets? So what happens when I run this cell? So if you observe, a space has come up here. So what happens is that this slash t will be interpreted as a tab space by Python. So after printing documents, it will create a tab space and then prints the rest of the string. So we don't need Python to interpret this slash t as a tab space. So to eliminate the meaning of slash t, we put a backslash in front of this slash t here, and then if I try to print the string, it will give the result as expected. So one more example, if we try to print c documents slash new folder, what happens? So if you observe, it will Python will consider this slash n as a new line. So up to documents, it will print on the second line, and EWFOLDR, the remaining part of the string, is being printed on the next line. So we need to eliminate the meaning of slash n. So to eliminate the meaning of slash n, I am putting a backslash in front of this slash n so that it will print the output as expected. So let me run this cell. So you can see that we are getting the output as expected. There is no new line in between these strings. So one more example, what if I need to print this string document slash tweet slash new folder? So let me run this cell. So if you observe, this slash t is now considered as a tab space. So after this documents, a tab space has come up, and this slash n is now considered as a new line. So after this tweets, the remaining part of the string is being printed into the second line. So to eliminate the meaning of slash t and slash n, we need to put a backslash in front of the slash t and slash n. So here I have put a backslash in front of slash t and a backslash in front of slash n. So let's see what is prints out. So we are getting the output as expected. So if so many escape sequences will come inside a string, it is not that easy to always escape the meaning of all these special characters. So for that, we will use row string. So inside a single quote, you write whatever the string to be printed out. So I'm trying to print this string. So before that, just before this quote starts, you can put an R. So the Python, what happens here is that Python will now consider whatever is written inside the single quote will now be considered as a row string. It never consider this slash t as a tab space or the slash n as a new line. So the what Python does is that whatever is written on inside of this code, it will be printed as it is. So let's see what happens when I run this cell. So you can see that we don't need to escape the value of slash t and slash in here. So instead of that, we can put an R, and then inside this code we can write whatever we need, and Python will consider this as a raw string and prints out as it is. So this is a much more easy way to print a string if we need to use so many escape sequences. So instead of using this escape sequences, we can actually use the concept of this raw string to print strings in some formatted way. Okay, so I hope the escape sequences and raw string is clear to you. If you have any doubts, please ask me in the comment section. So see you in the next video.